We could talk about whether or not that was a foul or whatever the case may be. Malik Beasley, you called out Karl Anthony Towns, or you said you wasn't worried about him. Well, you should be, because the big bodega been putting in that work in your arena, wiping his feet all over your damn furniture with muddy shoes. Look at Karl Anthony Towns. Yes, we know he's known as a shooter, stretch big, but he got a bag, the little dream shape, going behind the basket, looking Jordan-esque with that in the crucial moments. And then here it is again. Oh, damn, that was a bucket. Then check this out. There's only one big Shanae Malika in the league, like y'all said, that could do this right here. Look at this right here. One of the most skilled bigs I've ever seen to play the game of basketball. Watch this move. Step back. Crucial time. Dot in his eye. Check out this right here, though. Check out these numbers. Game 2, 0 points in the fourth quarter. In the second half, 0 for 1. In the arena, 3 and 4. 14 points in the second half, 5 for 6 from the three-point line. Karl Anthony Towns is a problem. He's going to continue to be a problem. He's happy. He's playing for his city. Carry on.
The fact that a 7-foot center is hitting fadeaway jumpers and
to
above
ice the
game. Break clutch threes to give their team the win. This is why you go get Karl Anthony Towns. From the self-proclaimed best shooting big man ever to the best shooter period, Steph Curry, he took matters into his own hands in Game 3 without Jimmy Butler. He dropped 36 points to carry the Warriors past the Rockets and put Golden State in control of this series. But ahead of tonight's Game 4 matchup, I want to bring in our Shams Charania. Shams, what's the latest on Butler's status for tonight's game?
Malika, Jimmy Butler is doing everything possible to try to play tonight in Game 4. Everything in his power he's been doing. Treatment, workouts on the court over the last 24 hours. And then today was a full participant at shoot-around. I'm told the Warriors and Jimmy Butler are expecting him to make his return tonight in Game 4. The mobility is getting there for him. We spoke about our NBA Countdown on Saturday. He just was not moving well enough to play. The Warriors doctors ruled him out. So he may not be 100% tonight, but he does want to play. The Warriors are expecting him and are optimistic that he will be able to play as they try to go up 3-1.
We know the work ethic of playoff Jimmy is unlike any other. So, again, working to come back, hopeful to come back for this Game 4. Shams, thank you, our senior insider. Or actually, should I say, following unfortunate breaking news out of Sunday night's Pacers-Bucks game in Milwaukee here. This is the first quarter. Just watch Damian Lillard. After Gary Trent Jr. misses the three, he stumbles, falls forward. He stayed seated on the floor during the rest of the Bucks possession and the next Pacers possession before a foul. Lillard needed help getting off of the floor here. This had all the hallmarks of an Achilles injury, non-contact, goes down holding the back of that calf here. Just one more look. Damian Lillard, he would sit on the floor there waiting for his teammates to pick him up. He went back to the locker room, and he did not return. Then Indiana takes a 3-1 series lead here. But, of course, all eyes after this one on Damian Lillard. And the Bucks, they posted this image to their social media last night after the game. You can see the caption. It reads, "Love you, Dame." So let's bring in our senior NBA insider, Shams Charania here. Shams, I just mentioned this. This certainly looked like an Achilles injury. What is the official diagnosis?
Malika, sources tell me Damian Lillard has been diagnosed with a torn left Achilles tendon. He underwent an MRI late this morning in Milwaukee that revealed the severity. He is out for the season. And of course, the timeline of Achilles tears, that puts next season potentially in jeopardy as well. Usually it's a calendar year potentially with an Achilles tear. So just devastating for not only Damian Lillard, the Bucks as well. He himself has overcame a lot this year. He had multiple different injuries at different points with the calf. He had a 3.5-week unprecedented in his right calf that he came back from just about a week ago, last Tuesday, for Game 2 of this series against the Pacers. And now he has a left Achilles tear. He is done for the season. And it's crippling for the Bucks in a lot of ways because now you have a salary slot of $60 million with Damian Lillard for next season.
Shams, thank you so very much. Stick around. We're going to talk to you in a little bit for an update on Jimmy Butler as well ahead of the Rockets and Warriors Game 4 here. But first, staying in Milwaukee, let's take a listen together to Doc Rivers on Damian Lillard last night.
This is a tough one, honestly. Blood clot, followed by this. It's just tough. I've seen injuries like deflate teams, but tonight, that one hurt.
it's hard. It's hard being in his position. But the man, like, is one of the toughest, mentally toughest guys I've ever been around, and that's why he is who he is. I always had respect for Dame before we became teammates, but now my respect level is much higher, and I believe he's going to overcome every obstacle that's going to be in front of him. Everybody going to be there for him, and no matter what the obstacle is for him, he's going to overcome it, and we're going to help him overcome it.
Here now with Chiney Ogwumike, Kendrick Perkins, Brian Windhorst is going to be joining us in just a moment as well. This is unfortunate under any circumstance, but in a league full of great guys, Damian Lillard, Chiney, is one of the best. When you saw this, what was your reaction?
My heart was broken.
Yeah.
You guys know I've known Dame for a long time. We're close friends, and to see him go through this type of circumstance, knowing all that he has fought through, it was tough to watch. But Giannis said it best. You know, he's one of the mentally toughest guys we know, and I know Dame, the recovery starts right now. He's that competitive. Now, as for Achilles injury, I have had one. And a lot of people will start talking about the timelines for those. Some are conservative, like a year, and some are accelerated. And this is one thing that I think people should understand when it comes to timelines. Over the last decade, the science when it comes to Achilles actually has improved dramatically. I was a beneficiary of one of these types of circumstances. Prior to 10 years ago, if you saw an Achilles injury, it would go, Perk, you know, from your ankle, you know, the bottom of your foot, all the way up to your mid-calf. Now these surgeries have really allowed athletes to come back quicker. Now that scar is about 2 inches long. We've also seen some amazing comebacks from Kevin Durant to Breanna Stewart, who had an MVP season and a championship after tearing her Achilles. Alyssa Thomas, that's my former teammate who went through it. The timeline has shifted. People can come back quicker, but still, I think, you know, given the point in Dame's career, he's going to be smart and probably go the long, you know, haul for this type of situation. It was tough to see, but I do want people to not think that this is like the end of a circumstance for someone. More so, it's the fact that, you know, science has helped athletes recover quicker than before.
Well, one, we want him to hurry up and get back on the floor because he's a joy and a blessing to watch. He never cheats the game. One of the most elite scorers that we have ever seen at the point guard position. But you have to start to wonder, right, at this stage of his career,
34 years old.
The timing. And when you talk about what he needs and what he was trying to accomplish, obviously forcing his way out of Portland, going team up with Giannis Antetokounmpo, it was all about championships. And you only have a certain amount of time or a window when you talk about competing for a championship. And you look at the young studs that's coming up, Tatum, Anthony Edwards, you know, all those guys that are coming up right about,
Oh, no, you're right.
That are coming up right about now. And so that's the only thing that's the second thing that came to mind is like, when he does return, is it going to be too late for us, him being able to go out there and try to go pursue and and win a ring?
And those players that I mentioned, Perk, you're right. You know, Kevin Durant, Breanna Stewart, they, you know, Stewie's like 6'4", 6'5". KD's 7 feet. He can shoot, right? She can shoot over people. You know, Dame being a little bit smaller, trying to, you know, maximize his explosive or athleticism. The rest of that, like, that is harder for a guy like him.
Right, and Damian Lillard is 34. Kevin Durant was 30, and so you kind of look at those differences as well. I want to bring in Brian Windhorst joining us from Miami here. Just devastating news for Damian Lillard for the Milwaukee Bucks. And when you start to look towards the future of Milwaukee, what changes, Brian, in the immediate future here?
Yeah, Malika, obviously everybody feels for Dame Lillard, he's a top 75 all-time player, but it would be intellectually dishonest not to talk that the league's reaction is what does this mean for Giannis Antetokounmpo? This is now going to be potentially 3 consecutive years that the Bucks don't reach the second round. Of the last 9 playoff games that Giannis has even played in, they are 1-8 in those games, despite him averaging 30, 15, and 6 assists. It's going to be very difficult for the Bucks to present him with a team potentially missing all of next season for Dame Lillard that is going to be able even to get to this level. So the question for the whole NBA is, what does Giannis do about it? Does Giannis indicate to the team he wants to stay put and remain a Buck going forward, or does Giannis indicate he may want to look around? And if the answer is B, the entire NBA offseason will hinge on it. I don't even think any team can make a big move until they figure out what Giannis might prefer.
One thing we do know is that John Horst is going to be at the helm of whatever direction this goes. He just signed a contract extension, the general manager with the Milwaukee Bucks, so he will either be stewarding this, continuing to make moves around the margins here around a Giannis Antetokounmpo, or looking towards a new new chapter in Milwaukee. Of course, Dame was the somber note that Sunday ended on, but earlier in the day, we did have a pair of games on ABC that came down to the wire. So let's head to Minnesota for Lakers-Timberwolves Game 4 here, Chanae. Anthony Edwards and LeBron James, they've got a little bit chippy early on.
A little tussle here, and this is what Ant loves, right? Ant is talking to Bron, then he's physical with him, and Bron, I like this. He's like, I might be 40, but you can't call me shorty, okay?
And then Anthony Edwards, though, in the second quarter, just showing how this game was going to go here. And we heard it post-game. He said, you know what, this is a young man's league. Going ahead to the fourth part, this is where in the regular season, Minnesota had some issues, not in this series.
Maybe I voted him too early. I should have voted him for most clutch player in the postseason because damn it, he's been cooking.
Not your boy Brunson.
But all I've been hearing, Anthony Edwards, he shoot too many threes. Guess what? He make a whole lot
Pay it off right now.
The Lakers have a response here, though. Austin Reeves, after a slow first half, got going here in the second. Huge three there. And then Julius Randle looking, gives it up to Dante DiVincenzo, blocked by James.
We got the iconic call, and shout out to Richard Jefferson because this paid off on the other end with another knockdown.
And this is when I thought, okay, maybe the Lakers are going to hold on in this one after the Dorian Finney-Smith all started with that block from LeBron James. Huge defensive effort there. But then in the final seconds here, Sinead, this play stood out to you.
It's huge because he really controlled everything. The Lakers are in a zone, and Ant has the smarts to get it to his teammates in the middle. This and one tied up the game.
And you can tell by the look on Austin Reeves' face, he knew that that was an incredibly costly foul here. So Minnesota up one. Initially, this was called Lakers ball. Anthony Edwards imploring Chris Finch to challenge and review it. And because of Hawkeye technology and a rule change last year, remember, this wasn't just able to be reviewed for an out-of-bounds play. It could also be reviewed for a foul. And so a foul on LeBron James was called. One more chance here for Los Angeles.
Correct pass.
It's a good look. Austin Reeves
didn't
get it to go. And so it's Minnesota that takes a huge 3-1 series lead. Here's Anthony Edwards on how they wore down the Lakers in the fourth quarter.
I feel like we took their best punches throughout the game and to start the third and then to end the third. So, and I felt like they was gassed going down the stretch. So just trying to, keep my foot on the pedal and keep going.
You made the change of the lineup to start the second half and went with those guys the whole way through. Was that the plan?
No, it wasn't planned, but we just made the decision at halftime.
Okay, so the Lakers, they played their lineup of Luka, Reeves, Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron, and Rui Hachimura for all 24 minutes in the second half. That made them the first team with no substitutions in a playoff half over the last 25 years. Brian, what did this game tell you about Los Angeles?
Well, it told me a lot about what J.J. Redick thinks of his roster, which is he doesn't trust it very much. He certainly doesn't trust his centers. He played Jackson Hayes, his only center, 4 minutes in this game. That's it. And obviously didn't make a substitution in the second half. Really tried to play this like a Game 7. He obviously felt that with 2 days off before Game 5 that this was a game he had to go to. And it just kind of backfired on him. I think LeBron, was gassed down the stretch. He ended up resting on offense, I felt. It was a bit of a gamble, frankly, because Luka had been ill, and LeBron coming off heavy minutes on Friday night, just 36 hours later playing again. They made a decision back in February not to, to go with Mark Williams, to rescind that center trade. When they did that, they knew they weren't going to have a team that matched up against everybody, and in some ways this is a tough matchup for them, and JJ voted with his silence when it came to look into his bench.
I mean, look, y'all can live in the Lakerland. I'm going to the guy himself. Anthony Edwards, the best young leader in the game, top 5 player in the game. What he did yesterday afternoon reminded me of not only Jordan and Kobe mentality, but reminded me that it's no other guy that's his age that's in the same conversation with him when it comes to his mental. Right? His mental toughness is just different. The dog in him is just different. That's what this game was about, Anthony Edwards. We could talk about JJ playing his entire starting 5